So you're thinking about moving to Dallas. Well, in this video, we're going to be taking a look at the Whiterock area. And if you stick around to the very end, we're going to be talking new construction. If it's your first time on the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you want to know everything there is to know about the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Hey y'all, welcome to the channel. My name is Tom Jung and I'm here with
Jerry Hitt.
All right, and we are your local Dallas-Fort Worth real estate agents. And Jerry is actually, you've lived in the Whiterock area for a long time, haven't you?
Yeah, I've lived there for a long time. I've lived in the Dallas area pretty much my whole life, but the Whiterock Lake area, it's probably been a little bit more than 10 years now.
That's awesome. And it's kind of a unique area to Dallas. I mean, just the fact that there's a lake and it's so close to the city center. So I guess, I guess a couple of things in this video. We're going to kind of explore everything. You've put together a video we're going to take a look at. But I guess what is the appeal in your mind as far as moving to the Whiterock area?
Well, Whiterock is from what I understand, is the largest urban lake anywhere in the United States. And it has a lot of amenities as far as an urban lake. It has a jogging trail. It's about 9.5 miles. There's several parks that surround the lake. There's so many things that you can do out as far as doing things outdoors. There's plenty of places to grill and picnic. You can fish just about anywhere around the lake. There are some public boat ramps. If you have a sailboat, there's sailing all year round. They have a couple of sailing clubs that you can join if you'd rather be a part of a sailing club. But they do offer some public boat ramps. And one of the major attractions there is the Dallas Arboretum, the Botanical Garden. They have attractions there throughout the year. And right now they're having a big Christmas celebration there. They have a German village, a small German village set up. They have some gazebos, some 19th century designed gazebos that represent all the 12 days of Christmas and the 12 days of Christmas carol. So there's pretty much everything that Whiterock Lake has to offer year round, depending on how nice the weather is.
That's awesome. And it's and I've got the map pulled up here, so we can kind of see downtown Dallas here. And from downtown Dallas, how far is it, would you say, if you lived in one of these communities? About
6 miles from downtown Dallas. And there are several different ways you can get to downtown.
Okay. So that's not bad at all. So with traffic, how long would it take you to get home from work?
Well, in rush hour, it may take anywhere from 20 minutes to a half hour, depending on how bad traffic is. But ordinarily, you can make it to downtown Dallas within 10 minutes in any of these neighborhoods surrounding the lake.
Okay, awesome. Well, let's take a look at this video put together. I'm just going to play the first part and we'll talk a little bit about it.
Located only 6 miles east of downtown Dallas, Whiterock Lake has been a part of the city's landscape since 1911. It spreads across more than 1,000 acres and is considered the largest urban lake in the U.S. Whiterock Lake was at one time the city's main water source, but today, nearby neighborhood residents call it an inner-city oasis. Hiking, jogging, and cycling are among the many lakeside activities at Whiterock. More than 9 miles of paving make up the trail surrounding the lake, which also connects to nearly 50 more miles of hiking and biking trails that spread across Dallas. Most people love the year-round recreational retreat the trails at Whiterock offer, especially the local residents, who call the surrounding neighborhoods home. Dallas Bike Works Bicycle Shop is located only yards away from one of the lake's main trails, and has been a part of the Whiterock biking community since 2006. They offer a wide variety of bicycles, equipment, and related merchandise, as well as maintenance and repairs.
We can do repairs on the spot. You know, somebody has a flat tire, the bike trail's right there. And, you know, if anybody gets an issue with their bike or just needs anything, even nutrition, water, restroom, you know, we've kind of got everything to cater to them.
The decision to add a coffee menu and a break area has also brought in more bikers and nearby residents to the shop.
She opens early at 7, and she is able to do, pass somebody an air pump or sell them some nutrition, or set up an appointment for them to come back during regular hours if it's something she can't handle on the spot.
One of the most popular and
We'll pause there for a second. So that's like, I guess, big recreational area, and bike trails are pretty big. I think you mentioned before Dallas is, I guess, putting a lot of effort into expanding their bike trails as well, aren't they?
Yeah, right now the goal is to set up about 50 miles of bike trails to connect all the different neighborhoods throughout the Dallas area. And eventually what they want to do, from my understanding, is connect the existing trails and the future trails to where you can ride your bike all the way back and forth to Fort Worth if that's something that you want to do, or ride back and forth to the Arlington Mid-Cities area.
So great spot if you want kind of an active lifestyle, right?
Oh, definitely. I mean, you can pretty much do anything over there at Whiterock and all the surrounding parks for, just about any time of the year, weather permitting. It's not uncommon to see soccer teams over there, softball teams throughout the year. Families, people of all ages, either biking, jogging, or just taking a hike around the lake. It's not uncommon to see people there from, kids from kindergarten all the way up to people in their 90s.
All right. Well, so this next part of the video here, we're going to start to get into the neighborhoods. And in the video, you kind of work your way around the lake. So we're starting here in Lakewood, which is kind of highlighted on the screen for those of you who are wondering, which neighborhood's which. But let's take a look at this next part.
Properties in this neighborhood can include anything from a 2-bedroom bungalow to a massive multi-room estate. Most of Whiterock's lakeside properties are a part of the Lakewood neighborhood. Some of the stunning lakeside estates along the coveted Lothar Drive section date back to the early 20th century, while other properties offer a variety of sizes and acreage and architecture. The median price range for a home in Lakewood is around $750,000, but most of these lakefront homes have a price range of $1 million to $14 million. The Lakewood Country Club is located on the far west side of the neighborhood and was founded in 1912. The Country Club has an 18-hole golf course, 8 tennis courts, 3 pools, and a host of events year-round. Many of the properties closest to the Country Club have a price range of $1 to $3 million. Shopping centers are also a fixture among most of the neighborhoods surrounding Whiterock Lake, including the Lakewood Village Shopping Center, which is home to several locally owned businesses and restaurants. Sailing has also been a favorite pastime at Whiterock ever since the lake was built. The Corinthian Sailing Club and the Whiterock Boat Club are 2 sailing organizations that have been at the lake for decades. They offer marina storage, boater education, boat racing, and other events throughout the year. The lake is also a safe haven for a variety of wildlife and several different species of birds from around the country. Just to the south of Whiterock Lake is where you'll find the Forest Hills neighborhood.
All right, so just a couple things on that. So I noticed in the video footage there's no private docks on Whiterock Lake. Is that correct? I just saw a couple marinas.
Yeah, they're all the docks surrounding Whiterock, aside from the 2 private sailing clubs who have their own marinas and their own docks. Aside from that, all the docks on Whiterock, they're all city property.
Gotcha. And then are there ever people out there in like recreational boats, like wakeboarding or skiing? Because I know it's a little bit smaller of a lake.
Well, at one time back up until the 1950s, you were allowed to have a larger boat with a large engine, for skiing. There was a lot of water skiing back then. But after I guess sometime in the early or middle 50s, they made it against the law to ski and swim at Whiterock. They said it was for safety reasons, that the quality of the water wasn't as pure as it was back when the lake was first built. So there hasn't been any swimming or skiing since back in the 50s. But you can still do wakeboarding, you can do kayaking, paddleboarding, A lot of people do a lot of paddle boarding throughout the year, again, depending on the weather. And then you still can have a motorized boat on White Rock, but it has to be, I think, has to be less than 15 horsepower, something like that. But you'll see a lot of fishing. You'll see a lot of fishing throughout the year around the different banks and docks located around the lake. And then a few people, they'll have their boats out whenever they do some fishing as well.
Gotcha. So if you are somebody that's wanting more of a, a larger lake that you can go take your power boat on or whatever, you might be looking at what is it, Ray Hubbard? That's probably going to be the closest one.
Yeah, Ray Hubbard, and then from there would be Lake Levon is not too far away. Lake Levon is just a little bit north of Ray Hubbard.
Yeah.
And then you have Lake Louisville to the north up towards Denton. And then, of course, you have Joe Pool Lake to the south, down to the southwest. And then Lake Grapevine is up toward the northeast. And then when you get into some of the surrounding counties, you have some of the larger lakes that people frequent throughout the year as well.
Right. Cedar Creek is one southeast that I feel like a lot of people get like a vacation home there.
Yeah, Cedar Creek does have a lot of second home properties, especially lakefront properties that have really, there are different pockets of Cedar Creek Lake that have really grown the past 30 years with some large homes that people, they mostly use for the weekend or maybe during the holidays, because it's only about a 70-mile drive southeast of Dallas.
Yeah. So not too far to get to. One other thing to mention on before we move into the Little Forest. So as far as Lakewood goes, there are schools. So if you've got kids and you're wondering about schools, what are they like? So Dallas, it's in the Dallas ISD, which is B rated. These are all from niche.com. But that neighborhood is actually pretty good. Lakewood Elementary is rated A-. JL Long Middle School is rated B, and then Woodrow Wilson High School is rated A- as well. So B is kind of your average across the state. So anything above that, you're doing pretty well. The A's are definitely where you want to be. But let's go ahead and see what's up next here.
Just to the south of Whiterock Lake is where you'll find the Forest Hills neighborhood. The area was established in 1924, with some of the homes from that period still standing. The neighborhood features tree-lined avenues with large lots, and homes that also reflect traditional and mid-century architecture. The home values in this neighborhood can range from $600,000 to $3.5 million. The nearby neighborhood of Little Forest Hills is also an area dating back to the 1920s. The lots in this residential district are noticeably smaller than those found in Forest Hills. Many of the original homes in this neighborhood were built years ago as weekend bungalows or summer cottages for people visiting Whiterock Lake. Some of those larger homes in the neighborhood have also been torn down the past several years to make way for much larger and expensive homes. The listings for most of the properties in Little Forest Hills can range from $270,000 to $1 million. The Whiterock Lake Dog Park is another popular recreational spot in the area. It's open every day of the week except rainy days and Mondays. The 3-acre park is a doggy paradise and features a number of amenities including safe fencing, plenty of shade trees, pavilions, water bowl stations, a small dog area, as well as a lakeside launch for those who want to cool off with a 4-legged swim. Just to the east, you'll find the Casa neighborhood.
That's a pretty cool dog park, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's fun. Part of the White Rock Trail, you noticed in the video, right there where the launch is for the dogs to get out of the lake whenever they want to. There's a pedestrian bridge that's part of the bike trail that's right there next to that part of the dog park. Yeah, right there. It's kind of fun whenever you cross that bridge. You can hang out and watch the dogs play out there. And then as you cross that bridge a little bit further to the right, there's an area where you can stop off and just hang out and watch the dogs. It's pretty entertaining.
That's awesome. Now, so one of the other things that I noticed here, the schools change quite a bit when you get down on this side of the lake. So as far as the ratings go, I just looked up a property over there in their schools. So you've got Alex Sanger Elementary, which is rated B+, and then W.H. Gaston Middle School, which is a C-rated middle school, and then Bryan Adams is rated B. That wasn't named after the singer, was it?
No idea.
No, that
Okay.
that school's probably a little bit older than the Bryan Adams, the singer.
It was interesting that the school ratings changed that much, even though those neighborhoods are real close together.
Yeah, that is a little bit surprising. There are some private schools in the area. If if somebody wanted to choose one of these neighborhoods to live in, there is a private school right there, just right down the street from Bryan Adams. It's Bishop Lynch. It's a Catholic school. It's been there, I think, since the middle 60s.
Okay.
And a lot of people who choose not to send their kids to Bryan Adams, they choose Bishop Lynch. His high school education.
Great. So that may be another option if somebody's not excited about that school. Well, cool. Let's keep going. I know there's so just to take a quick peek at the map again before we get going here. So Forest Hills is kind of here at the south side of the lake, and Little Forest Hills, right?
Forest Hills and Little Forest Hills are separated there at Lakeland Drive, kind of right by there where the cursor is.
And that's where Dallas Arboretum is, and looks like Children's. Okay, that's part of Arboretum. And then you've got Casa Linda here, which we're about to take a look at. So let's go ahead and keep going here.
Just to the east, you'll find the Casa Linda neighborhood. The residential area and its namesake shopping center were established in 1947. The shopping center features several businesses, a grocery store, restaurants, and a nearby hospital. Some of the mid-century bungalows and cottages are still standing throughout the neighborhood. That also features other varieties in architecture and lot sizes. Like the other surrounding lake neighborhoods, you can also find new construction in the area. The listing price for homes in Casa Linda can range from $450,000 to $1.2 million. Fishing and kayaking are also popular at Whiterock Lake. Nearby residents say they mostly enjoy what the lake has to offer year-round.
It's just one of the only places in Dallas that you can get this kind of feel of like inner city, but with like a lake.
The Peninsula neighborhood was established in 1927 and overlooks the east side of Whiterock Lake. You'll also find a mixture of older properties throughout this neighborhood, including other residential lots which have opened up to homes more recently built. Homes in this neighborhood can range from $450,000 to $2 million. Old Lake Highlands neighborhood was established.
All right, now before we jump into this, again, with the schools in the Peninsula neighborhood, you've got Victor Hexter Elementary, which is an A-. And then this is always crazy to me, but their Robert Hill Middle School is a C+. So there's like a huge disparity there in ratings between the elementary and the middle school. And then Bryan Adams is the high school for that area as well. So I always find it interesting when you've got like an elementary school that's great, then the middle school is kind of subpar.
I guess there could be a lot of factors that come into play in a situation like that, but it just, I don't know, it is kind of curious, that much of a difference in the same neighborhood. There is a private school there in the Peninsula neighborhood. I cannot think of the name of it right offhand, but they do offer a private school in that neighborhood. Gotcha. The name escapes me right now. One more quick thing. If you notice, these bungalow and small homes that are about 2-bedroom, 1-bath size, those were homes that were built back the early 20th century, and they were lakeside, or not exactly lakeside, but they were close to the lake. Those were summer homes and second homes for people, just like what we were talking about earlier. People drive down to Cedar Creek Lake for the weekend at their second home or for the holidays. That's what a lot of these homes were, especially in the Peninsula and the Little Forest Hills neighborhood at one time.
Gotcha. Yeah, it seems like in all of these neighborhoods too, as we're kind of going through this, you kind of see the history of homes, really, because like it goes all the way from those cottages, and then how Dallas has evolved over the years to where you get something from pretty much every era of housing. And it's cool that all of that's still there, but there's been turnover, right? So you get new homes as well. So it's just, I mean, there's just about everything over there, it seems like.
Oh, I completely agree with you. You see such a wide range of architecture, especially in Lakewood and Forest Hills. You can tell by the architecture, homes that were built probably in the 1920s, 1930s, that, for their age, they look great. They were well maintained. And then it's not uncommon to see a contemporary home built down the street. So you see such a wide variety of homes, and you can kind of pinpoint the decades and when the homes were probably built, especially with the architecture.
Yeah, that's really cool. Now, I think this next one is one of the more sought-after neighborhoods around Lake Highlands. Is that right? Or around Whiterock Lake?
Old Lake Highlands and Lake Highlands. It was these two areas were the most sought-after neighborhoods 2023 as far as people choosing to live in the Dallas area.
Awesome. All right, well, let's take a look at this.
Old Lake Highlands neighborhood was established on the northeast side of the lake in 1946. Most of the homes built there at the time were pier and beam cottages, as well as 1- and 2-story ranch-style homes. Many of those homes are still standing, along with some recently built structures found throughout the neighborhood. Many properties in Old Lake Highlands, including new structures, range between $300,000 and $1.6 million. A short drive to the north is where you'll find Lake Highlands Town Center, and complements the nearby Lake Highlands neighborhood. Lake Highlands was the most sought-after area for home buyers in 2023. It also lies within the highly praised Richardson School District. The district includes Whiterock Elementary and Lake Highlands High School. The area also features a recreation center, a community aquatic center, sand volleyball fields, as well as miles of neighborhood hike and bike trails. The neighborhood saw early residential construction beginning in 1940, with a major construction boom also taking place throughout the 1960s. Some of the neighborhood's original homes are still standing, as well as some recently built homes offering a variety of architecture and amenities. Properties in the Lake Highlands neighborhood can range anywhere between $270,000 to $2 million.
All right. So huge range of houses again. And in that neighborhood, just to give folks an idea. So you mentioned in the video that it's in the Richardson ISD, which according to niche.com is an A-rated school district. And the schools are all A-rated. So Whiterock Elementary is A-rated. Lake Highlands junior high is A-, and Lake Highlands is A- rated on niche.com. So just to give folks an idea of where that is, it's here on the northeast side of the lake. So
I'm sure that the high ratings that you just mentioned are probably a big part of the reason why it was such a sought-after neighborhood this past year.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I mean, you don't have to worry. It's not like you got a middle school you got to worry about, or one here, one there. Looks like they're all great schools. So now I know we covered a lot already, but let's talk about new construction a little bit, because there seems to be a ton going on in that area. And I'll pull up our MLS here. I just drew a little shape around the lake here. And all of these houses that are showing up are active listings that are new. So there's quite a few. So what can you tell us about what's going on with this new construction? How are there so many homes being built in this old neighborhood?
Well, anybody that takes a drive through Lakewood or any of the other surrounding neighborhoods that we just talked about, what you'll find is they're desirable lots. People may not like the existing home that's there, or it may be a home that wasn't well maintained. So what a lot of people are doing are they're buying the property and having the houses bulldozed, the older homes. And then within a period of time, after they clear out all the debris, they break ground on new construction. And I've seen a lot of these new homes range from traditional architecture and a number of them have also been contemporary, and they're much larger homes than the existing homes that were there on those lots. So a lot of it is property driven. Folks want to live close to Whiterock Lake. They want to live in a nice neighborhood that's close to downtown, and it's a neighborhood that's close within not too far distance from public transportation, as well as the main arteries that where you drive throughout the Dallas area. So it's such a desirable property that when somebody sees a lot that they like, they'll just buy it and have the home bulldozed and build a new one.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, and that's not cheap either, right? So
no, it's not. That can be pretty costly because you got to take in consideration, you have to hire a professional to take down the old home. You have to hire people, experienced people, to update all the plumbing, all the electrical work, that's probably been there for decades. Mm-hmm. And then you have to have a quality builder to put in the new home the way you want it.
And that's and then I pulled up, I just pulled up the comp display that I've got here. And so you can see, these new places are ranging anywhere from 830,000 all the way up to just about to 3 million, right? So there's a big range. And the other thing that I've noticed is you've got a lot of these properties. It looks like they'll knock down a house and then they'll build 2 townhomes on the lot, or maybe they divide the lot or something. And so you'll kind of have 2 of them put together. I don't know if that's the case on this one or not.
I think some of the folks that are doing that are builders. It's mm-hmm. not necessarily somebody that's building it for themselves. It's a builder, and then they'll, once everything's finished out, they'll sell the 2 properties. But sometimes you'll have an individual who will build a home like that, sort of a duplex type construction. They'll build the home, they'll build the structure like that with all the intentions of renting it out.
I can see that as well. Yeah, we just talked about this past week on our podcast. Dallas has a housing shortage, and they're looking at actually changing the laws to allow, smaller lots and higher capacity.
A lot of those laws have been around for decades, and I'm sure the ones that they've been covering probably needed to be updated.
Yeah, but very good. Well, if you guys are looking at all this saying, hey, this looks like an area that might be for me, we'd love to work with you guys. Jerry is obviously an expert in this area, and would love to hear from you. Is there anything else that you want to add that folks should know about this area?
I mentioned earlier that public transportation surrounds the Whiterock area and the neighborhoods. So, for people that are wanting to move to the Dallas area that rely on public transportation, because, Tom, some people around the country have never had a driver's license. All they've ever used is public transportation.
That was shocking to me when I learned that. Because in Texas, it seems like, especially I'm on the Fort Worth side, everything you got to drive to because nothing's close. But then, folks from other places, they don't have them because they rarely use them, or they use public transport. Yeah, it was shocking to me, but yeah.
Yeah, it's here in this part of the country and this part of Texas especially, we're so used to driving everywhere, we forget about that. There are a lot of people around the country that have to use and rely on public transportation to get back and forth to work or whatever they do on the weekends. But just to reiterate, there is public transportation in the area. There's the DART rail line.
If you spend all your money on $1 million house and can't afford a car, this is a good place to live.
Yeah, if you can't afford the car and the insurance. But they do have the DART rail systems located. There's the blue line, the red, green, and orange line that you can get pretty much anywhere around the Metroplex, especially downtown. In those lines, the red and the orange line and the green line, if you lived in any of these neighborhoods, you could travel all the way to DFW Airport, or if you wanted to enjoy the weekend over in Fort Worth, You can take one of these lines and travel all the way over to Fort Worth if you want. And the bus lines run through these neighborhoods as well.
Very cool. Well, awesome. Well, that's all we got for you guys in this video. As always, thanks for tuning in. And if you're looking to buy or sell, remember to keep calm. Call Tom.